the economic situation happening in all countries all over the world, we do not have any other option than to look for ways to maximize our income, cut down on expenses, reducing budgets that are not really important, just for us to live a comfortable life. Today's video will give you tips on how to cut down on some expenses and to save costs in the long run. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tobi-Oba Wilson. If you are seeing my face for the first time, welcome to my channel. And for my returning subscribers, thank you for always coming back. Thank you so much. In today's video, I want to talk about some ways we can reduce spending, how to live and budget our life, even on a low income, on a very good earnings, so that we can still have a lot to save at the end of the day. The first thing to do to save costs, to reduce spending, is to do a bulk buying. Bulk buying simply means buying things and storing in the house in large quantity that will last us for a period of time. For instance, your foodstuffs can decide to buy some bags of rice, buy your box of meat, pepper, and some things that will last you in the kitchen for like 2 or 3 months. With that one, you don't need to go back in the next month to buy those things again, because we already done bulk buying that will last you a lot of time, and at the same time reduce spending. You know, when you buy things in bulk, you reduce costs, you save a lot of pence, pounds, coins, naira, and what kind of currency that you use. Bulk buying is the only way, is number one way you can save and reduce your spending every month. You know, buying things in bulk will give you peace of mind, because when you buy it in bulk, even if there's inflation, even if that cost of that item has increased, you never can tell. Maybe before you go back again, it has reduced again, and you have saved the trouble of spending extra on it again. Another way we can reduce costs or maximize our income is to compare prices of items in shops. Different shops have gotten their own prices, even if they have the same item. The only way we can do that is like compare prices of the same items in shops and go for the cheaper one. They are of the same product. Most of all these companies get their products from the same manufacturer, but because of their different names, their brand, they tend to increase their prices just to suit their brands. So we don't need to buy the same item in the shop, all because of the name. In as much as it's the same quality, we can go for the cheaper one of the same quality. In UK, we've got shops like Iceland, we've got Asda, we've got Lidl, we've got Tesco, we've got Morrison, we've got Aldi, and etc. Most of them have the same quality, but they have different prices because of their own brand. We don't need to spend money if you like a particular shop, except if you just like, you love this shop regardless of the price. That is fine. But if you want to save costs, you can go to a shop that is of a cheaper price and get your products. With this, you are saving costs. Another means to reduce and save costs is by saving your pence. I'm using UK as my case study because that's the way I live. My bank contacted me once and said, "Oh, Toby, because you've got your savings account, you've got your current account, we want to encourage you to save more by saving those pennies left from your expenses, from your spending." For instance, maybe I buy something of like £5, 10 pence, and I'm going to get a change of like 90 pence. So they're going to convert that 90 pence into my savings account, so that builds up. So whenever I need it, I'm short of cash, I can just go to that savings and take all those pence, because the pence are now accumulated from 1 penny to 2 pence to 5 pence to 10 pence. When you calculate them together, before you know it's already £1, and £1 can buy, it's like can buy a loaf of bread. Okay, can buy some other liquid wash for the house, which will save you money from going to your current account to make that purchase. So you can also approach your bank to ask them if they do that kind of a arrangement, whereby anything you spend, in as much as, like maybe you buy something like £6.85, and they will take that 15 pence, round up your spending to £6. Yes, you're going to pay £5.85 from the retailer, wherever you bought that thing from. But your bank will round it up to £6, and they will take that 15 pence into your savings account just to keep all those penny. If you leave it there for a while, it's going to accumulate. It can become £5, £10, in which you can use for your bus pass. You can use it to pay some mini bills. You can bills in the house. At times, I keep my own pence, £5, £10. Maybe if I'm short of cash, or at times I need some money to something, I just use my savings account to pay, because I've saved a lot of pence, and that saves me some cost again. Another way to save and reduce costs is by targeting sales season. In summertime, you can decide to buy your winter clothes in summertime, because this time is going to be cheap. People are not buying winter clothes because they know they don't need it, but it's going to be cheaper. It can be like at 70% at this time, because they know that only those that are wise, are intelligent, that know the value of cost of items at a particular season, we buy those things. And when you do your own shopping now, it's going to save you that amount that you're going to spend during winter season. During winter season, everybody wants to buy their jacket, their winter shoes, their winters, or what's it called, pullover, your sweatshirt, but it's cheaper in summer, and vice versa. During winter as well, shops bring out summer clothes. People don't do that. They ignore that because it's always summer. But they have a reason for doing that. They are trying to encourage us to buy those things to save us money when it's that season. You know, there's some seasonal goods that when we buy them now, when that season comes, we don't need to worry ourselves, and we'll save a lot of money from that. Also, another way to reduce and save costs is buying items during sales period. Shops have time where they do their sales marketing. They can say during this particular time, we're going to be doing discount sales, buy things at 70% discount. We can target that time to buy those things just to save cost as well. When we do all these things, we're going to be reducing our spending, and we can use our money for other important things or some other priority things when the needs arise. This other reason is a very, very tricky one. Most people don't imbibe in it because it's so difficult to be disciplined, and that is taking time to save in our piggy bank. Yes, everybody has gotten their own saving means. Maybe they save in their accounts, they do thrift collection, they do what they call ajo, you know, where you have a group of people that contribute money and they pack in tons. You can also still save some pence, some pounds, some naira, some euros, whatever your currency, in a piggy bank in your house. At times, this money goes a long way. In January, I made a video where I talk about encouraging saving, having a piggy bank with your family, where you can save some amount. It can be like little amount, just like your extra saving. This kind of money is what you can use at the end of the year to do some Christmas shopping, do some expenses for the family, your extended family, that will not still affect whatever you have saved elsewhere. Piggy bank is a means of saving, is a means of getting more money, in which can save you some headache when some emergency needs arise. Okay, saving in your piggy bank is another way to reduce cost and maximize our income at the end of the day. The irony of life is that there are some things we think the price determines how quality that item is. At times, in most cases, it's not always the case. There are some expensive things you buy that don't really worth it. Most people believe that buying things in big shops determines how quality the item is going to be. They believe buying things in some local shops, charity shops, will not produce good results. Most times it's not always the case. There are some shops that sells expensive things, and those items doesn't really worth it. So we can decide to patronize some local shops, go to charity shops, go to furniture shops, second-hand used shops, buy your furniture there, buy your anything furniture, beddings, like the frame. You can get them in some charity shops, in some second-hand used shops, and they will still last long. I made a mistake recently when I was setting my house. I bought some items, I bought some furniture in a very expensive shop, thinking it's going to last long. Those items did not even last me for 3 months, and I spent fortunes. Can you imagine? So at times you don't judge a book by its cover. That a shop is a second hand shop does not mean they don't have durable things that will last you a long time. So we just need to like repackage ourselves. We just need to reorientate ourselves to know that we can get any items, any affordable items, any lasting items anywhere. What this means is that shops or companies with names does not mean you're going to get quality items. Another way we can reduce spending and to save cost is by taking note of some things we don't need in the house. There are some items we've bought in the time past that we don't use them and we still want to buy more. We just have to like put those things on sales, sell them on some online shops, make some money from them, and set out your priority list. You should also we should always draft our need on a scale of preference. The important ones comes first. Any other one that's not important can come if we have the extra money to spend. We can do that. If there are no need for it, that means those things are not important. Any items you've not used in the last 6 months, or you bought an item and you've not used, that means you don't need them. You don't need to buy them. You can return them if you have your receipt. If you do your insurance on it, you can return them to get your money back. I have a rule. I draft out my budget for the month, and whatever is not included in my budget does not go in for that month. If somebody asks me for money and that it is not in my budget and it's not a present thing, I can put the person on my budget for the next month, not for that month again, because I've already drawn my budget and that is it for that very month. We need to be disciplined with our spending just to save costs, to reduce our spending. If you don't do all these things, we're going to be running out of money. We're going to be compliant all the time. People still live well even in this inflation, in the cost of the economy, because of the way they discipline themselves, because of the way they plan their life, because of the budget they've drawn, and they are so true to the spending, to their budget, that they won't go overboard. This is just a food for thought for some of us that have not planned or tidy up our earnings, our expenses, our budget. We need to do this so that we can live a happy life at the end of the day. If you find these tips, if you find this content useful to you, if you find it beneficial, do me a favor by subscribing to my YouTube channel, like and share my page, comment in the comment section. Let me know your own things, what work with you, so that others can also benefit from it. I remain Tobi-Oba Wilson, and I'll see you in my next video. You take care and bye.